Hi, everyone. Excuse me. Hi, welcome to CRJ 150, which is criminal law. So, real quickly, I'm your instructor, Mr. Wheaton. I do know some of you I have in person currently, some of you I've had in classes before, so a lot of you already know who I am, but those of you who don't, you're going to get to know me pretty quickly. So this video right now that you're watching is the overview, the intro to this class. There will be another video that goes up which will cover the first lecture, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So this is our Blackboard course. This is where all of the things that you need will be done, where all the assignments, where everything for this class is done. So everything will be on Blackboard. If you look over here under course faculty, I will tell you this now, you will not see me on your end, but I am there. That's why I'm showing you through my view. I am there. I am the instructor. I am the person that you reach out to for any questions, for any problems, things like that. So, very simply, the way this class will operate in general is every week, usually Monday, I will open up the week's folder, which will have the content that you need, the lecture notes, which are PowerPoints, and in that week folder will typically be a lecture video. There'll also be a brief intro video, like a minute long. It'll just be my face. It'll be a video of just me. There won't be anything else on the screen typically. It's just for me to check in with you all. That's it. But we won't have one for the first week because that's what we're doing here. So this video, we're going to go over the Blackboard course, what things you need to do, and going over the syllabus. Like I said, the other stuff will come as it is needed. So our Blackboard course, once you sign into it, you'll see the three folders that every Blackboard course that you're in here, or every course that you are in on Blackboard at EC3 will all look the same. They'll have the start here, the course-specific content, and the weekly folders. In the Start Here folder, you will see that our syllabus is there, which is what I'll go over, as well as our textbook. There's an About Me video, which is just a brief overview of who I am. But the textbook, there is an online version of the textbook where you can actually view it in the web page, but there's also a full printed PDF version. That's what this one is. This is the same book, it's just put together like a traditional textbook, but as a digital document, okay? So all of our readings are through either one of those. They are the same exact book, so you do not have to check both of them. They are the same book. Okay, under course-specific content. So right now there's the case study response generic. Do not worry about this yet, okay? Our first case study is going to be next week in week 2. So the instructions are already available to you. You can take a look at it, but I will do an entire video just talking about the case study responses, okay? So if you have questions about them right now, just wait. Next week I will be going in detail about them, okay? So, but in there is a couple different things. There's the PA state code, which is the Pennsylvania set of laws. There's the Erie County Charter, so within Erie County we have certain laws and rules. We have statutes at large, we have the Constitution, we have the Bill of Rights, and we have the amendments. These are all things that are parts of law that we will talk about throughout the class. Anyway, you won't see it yet, but there are different PowerPoint, and when we talk about the building a case assignment, which will be its own video, you will see this folder as well, but they're all under course-specific content. And then the last is the weekly folders. This will have a folder for every week of the class where all of your important extra readings, additional things, assignments, everything will be in the week folders. So, in the week 1 folder currently, we have Criminal Law 1, which is our first lecture. The video for that lecture will be going up later. There's the PowerPoint, which is what's there now. There's the building a case assignment, and there's a folder called laws. We're going to talk about those in the lecture video. Okay? So these are just additional readings. I'll tell you right now, they're not important. They're just simply meant to be fun first day kind of things to dive into, which is why I said we'll talk about it in the lecture video. So this is where I will say I know some of you have already reached out to me asking about the building a case assignment. I will make a video going over it, okay? I will look at it right now with you all and give you the very broad strokes, but I will actually post a separate video talking about it. So the building a case assignment is in criminal cases. There's two parties, which are stuff we're going to talk about. I'm going to urge you to essentially create a... You're going to build a case. You're going to make a fictional legal case, okay? Like I said, we'll do a whole discussion on this. We'll have its own video, but this way, so you can stop asking me and freaking out, I will post a video. Trust me. But for this, you're going to have to come up with some evidence and things like that. Like I said, we're going to talk way more specifically about it, but it's due during the final, almost the final week of class, okay? So it'll be due in week 7. Later this week, I will post a video going over just the assignment, okay? So, that being said, I will talk about that later. Let us now talk about the syllabus. So, like most classes, the first day is going over the syllabus. Because this is an online class, the first video you're getting is going over the syllabus and the expectations. So I'm Mr. Wheaton. This is the syllabus. The best way to contact me is via email, awheaton2@ec3pa.org. If you are looking for a time to meet with me, I will be in person on the West Campus Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. That is my student office hours. I will be on campus other times, but typically I'm doing other responsibilities. That is the time that I am dedicated to you all to meet. If you need to meet with me and those times do not work for you, please reach out to me. Schedule something. I will be glad to work with you. Okay? Now, for the most part, the syllabus is pretty standard. The course description is just what's in the course catalog that tells everyone what this class is all about. Student learning objectives, by the end of the course, you'll be able to do these things. Pretty straightforward. As I say all the time, our required text, EC3 makes a point to make education as accessible as possible, so that means we use as many OERs, or open educational resources, as we can. So our criminal law textbook is an OER. A viewable PDF version of this text is also available on Blackboard. That's why I said no matter which way you want to use it, it's there. I will say the occasional extra readings, and I'll talk about those when they come up, are always on Blackboard. Grading scale is the standard scale. So this is where students care, is the points. There is case study responses. There are 10 points each, and there's 10 of them. Those are the ones that don't worry about. They start next week in week 2. But case study responses, they're pretty easy. They just take time and attention to detail. The building a case assignment, which is that other thing that I said I will post a separate video on later this week, that's worth 100 points and it's due at the end of the semester. There is a presentation worth 50 points. I will talk about that as well. That's not something you need to worry about until week 4. So we're not going to talk about it until later. The midterm exam, there will be a midterm exam worth 100 points and a final exam worth 150 points for a total of 500 points. Our mission statement is that we're here to help you learn and grow. Student conduct, we have a student code of conduct handbook. They're the basic rules. Because this is an online class, a lot of the rules don't necessarily apply to you because they have to do with on-campus things. But there are things like behaviors that that even apply to an online setting, so there are still things that matter to you. Attendance expectations. This is an online class. So I'm going to tell you right now. What attendance looks like for my class is that you are logging in at least once a week. You are watching my lecture videos. And you are submitting work on time. Okay? I will occasionally send out little messages. On Blackboard, I can see who has viewed messages and announcements. So if I make an announcement and I see only 5 students have looked at it, that's a problem. Okay? I do realize that things happen, and the attendance might be difficult, especially turning in an assignment on time. If that is the case, please reach out to me via email, and we will discuss a reasonable measure to help you to succeed in the class. All right, academic integrity, because in the event of class cancellation, I'll let you know, but because we're an online class, there is no cancellation. Sorry. Academic integrity, don't cheat. I'll say this right now, because this is an online class, I know there's temptation to just kind of have someone else do your work. That is cheating. All of my exams are open notes, open book, even in person. So there should not be a need for another person to do your work, okay? So don't cheat, plain and simple. Do your own work and you'll be fine. Some important dates. Today is technically the first day of classes. Yes, I'm recording this on October 13th. First day of the semester. The last day to drop a class or add a class is this Wednesday, the 15th. Next week, next week, Thursday, the 23rd, is the last day to withdraw with a 50% refund. All that means is that if you had to pay money like tuition and whatnot towards the class, then you could get up to 50% of the money you put into it back by dropping at that point, if that makes sense. November 19th is the last day to withdraw, which means you have dropped the class after the drop add period. W's do not impact your final grade. They do not impact your GPA. It does not affect you. All it does is it puts a W on your transcript and says this person dropped the class late. That's it. I'm a professional and I have 2 W's on my official transcript. It's okay. It does not stop you. I recommend people that will not pass the class to withdraw so that they do not have an F, because an F will impact your grade. A W will not. The last day of the semester is Friday, December 5th. So, technically speaking, that is when things are due. I will say this right now, because we are an online class and we typically run Monday through Sunday. Yes, the semester is officially over December 5th. I will tell you right now, for our purposes, December 7th will be our very, very, very last day that you can turn in work. I know the class ends on the 5th, but because we always give you through the weekend, I give you the extra 2 days. And then final grades are due December 12th, that following Friday. And yeah, the rest of the syllabus for the most part is the ADA statement. If you have any kind of disability where you need some kind of accommodations, please reach out to accommodations@ec3pa.org, and they will coordinate with you and with me so that you get the accommodations you need. Veteran services, whether you're active duty or veteran or reserve, things happen. If you are someone who your education could be impacted by that, reach out to advising, and they can at least, communicate with me. I've had in the past students who are reserve military who need accommodations because they got called in for their regular duty. It happens. If it does, let us know. We'll work around it. Student support statement: if you're experiencing difficulty meeting food, housing, or other needs that affects your ability to learn, reach out to me or go to Student Services. We can help put you in touch with services that can help. We don't necessarily provide a lot of things, but we can put you in touch. We have a lot of community connections. And yeah. Last but not least, for tutoring or writing support, contact our Student Success Librarian, Mary Howells. Her contact information is there as well. And now, we get to the actual part of the syllabus people care about. That's the schedule. Anyone who's had me already knows this, but this is how I always do my schedule. I make it as straightforward as possible, and I give you all of the assignments day one. I give you due dates so that you know when everything is due. So, week 1 starts today and goes all the way through Sunday the 19th. Our duty this week is to do the introduction and the review of the syllabus, which we're doing right now. Then we're going to do civil versus criminal law and procedure, classification of crime, and discuss case study responses and case studies. So, this week, the big thing is we're going to do all the lecture stuff, and then I will be doing a separate video on building a case assignment, and then we will do the next week will be when we actually discuss case study responses. So I'm telling you that right now. It's a little bit of a crossover between this week and next week. So you notice homework, building a case assignment is due 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, November 30th. So it's due at the end of the semester, not right away. And then read through chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 1 we're talking about in class. Oh, not in class, but in the lecture video this week. Chapter 2 will be next week. And so then, week 2, which we're talking chapter 2, legal system in the United States, federalism, branches of government, court system, burden of proof. I forgot to take out in-class CSR for practice, but that is what we're going to be doing, is talking about the case study response. That video will be discussing how that should look. And so then our first one will be due by that Sunday, October 26th at 11:59 p.m. And we'll go forward from there. Week 3, you'll have 2 case study responses. Week 4, you'll have 1 case study response and the midterm exam. Week 5 will have 2 case study response. Week 6 will have 2. Week 7 will have 2. And then week 8 will be the final exam and the presentations. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, the expectation of you is to watch the lecture videos. You have the whole week to do it. You don't have to sit down and watch it all at one time. Watch it in parts. Rewatch parts. Pay close attention. Take notes. I give you the PowerPoints, which have all the main ideas, but some of the times I'm going to be talking about things and explaining more. So you're going to have to be aware. You're going to have to be ready for that. Okay? But there's no quizzes in this class, just the exams. I will tell you that I will do a brief kind of video lecture for the midterm and the final. They won't be full-on lectures. They'll be little brief overviews of some important details that you need to know. Those people that have had me in an in-person class, that's what I do on midterm and final exam day. I do it in person, but I will do that as well in the online class. But that's it. That's the syllabus. That's the class. Now, if you have a question about how the class will operate or something on the syllabus, please feel free to reach out to me, ask those questions. I'll be glad to answer them. If your question is about the case study responses or building a case assignment, I will not answer it until I have posted those videos and you've watched them. If you've watched it and you get my instructions and you still have questions, then you can ask them. But I will not answer them until that video has gone live and you have watched it. Because the goal is I will have answered all of your questions in that video. Okay? That's it. Thank you very much. I look forward to this class. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is the area that I absolutely love to talk about in criminal justice, so I get excited, and apologies that I get that excited about it. But I'll see you all Well, I mean, I won't, but I'll see you all in the lecture video.